Hey guys, it's John. So, like I was saying in uni, what I plan to do is to go through these skills assessments, these mock exams that Anand's uploaded for the advanced switching class. If you find them useful, then I'll do the same for the advanced routing as well for next semester. Right, so what I will say first is that I'm using EVE-NG, so the actual interfaces are different from the ones on NetLab. If you look here, for example, I've got Gigabit 00 and Gigabit 01, whereas you would have FAO11, FAO12 if you're doing it on NetLab. So be aware if you're following along on that, just change the numbers out between the ones I'm using and the ones that you're using. Okay, doke. So what I will say is that I've got a habit of going kind of fast and doing some tab completion, or try to avoid that as much as possible to keep it as clear as I can. And with that, let's just kick on and do it. So, first task, disable the links between ALS1 and ALS2. That's down the bottom here. So for you, that's FAO11 and FAO12 on ALS1. For me, it's gig00 and gig01. Same command, just different interface. So int range gig00 to 1, and it's just a simple shutdown. Same again here, just do the exact mirror. Int range gig00 to 1 and shut it down. That's part 1 complete, straightforward enough. Second part, use multiple class C 192.168x.0/24 networks as required for this skills based assessment. So this isn't so much a configuration as it is just basically a direction. What you're effectively going to end up doing is that using this X to denote the VLAN number. So when it comes to VLAN 10, on interface VLAN 10, you'll be doing 192.168.10.0/24. For VLAN 99, it'll be 192.168.99.0/24, so on and so forth. You get the drift. So the next actual configuration is configure the FAO11 link between DLS1 and DLS2 as a layer 3 link and assign a network to it. So in your case, that's the top one, FAO11 between DLS1 and DLS2. Now the hint here is that as soon as you see this, convert it or configure a layer 3 link, you're going to be using the command no switch port, okay? So in my case, it's gigabit 00 on both DLS1 and DLS2. So int gig00 and it's no switch port. That makes it now a layer 3 link rather than actually a switch port. So int gig00 no switch port. And what it also says is to configure a network address to it. So we're not actually going to use the VLAN numbers because it's not a VLAN, so it's not going to be 10.0 or 20.0 or 99.0. I'm just going to keep it straightforward and use 0.0. If you want to use 1.0, then that's your choice. So let's go and do it. And I'll do IP address 192.168.0.1. I'll use the first address, and I'll just use our /24 mask, even though it's a point-to-point link. Typically you would use a /30, but it doesn't say to do so in the direction, so I'll keep it straightforward and leave it at 24. Same again here, we'll use the second address, 0.2 on DLS2, /24 mask yet again, no shut. So these two should now be able to ping each other, 192.168.0.1. And we can. So what's next? So let's just have a look and see. Okay, so configure the FAO12 link between DLS1 and DLS2 as an ISL trunk and statically set all other interswitch links as 802.1q trunks. So that's the bottom one here between DLS1 and DLS2. Be aware though, when I was actually in the uni labs, the switches there were not capable of ISL. ISL is a really old and antiquated technology, so the switches there didn't even support it. So you go into a NetLab, this command might not even be available to you. I think it's just an old exam effectively, but in the case that it is, I'll configure it anyway. So int gig01 for me, that's going to be the bottom link, this one here. And the command is just switch port trunk encapsulation ISL, okay? So that's your command there. And do the same here, int gig01, switch port trunk encapsulation ISL. The other ones need to be statically configured as 802.1q trunks, okay? So in this case, for switch 1, gig 1011, 02, and 03. In your case, it's going to be FAO9, FAO10, FAO7, FAO8 for DLS1, and the rest as will just follow. Okay, so in my case, I'm going to be doing interface range gig 02 to 3 and gig 10 to 1. And again, this command might not be available to you on NetLab because it's assumed just to be this is the only encapsulation it supports, so you might not be able to type this one in. But if you can't, definitely type this one in, switch port mode trunk. That's the kind of important one. Okay. So I'll just continue and just quickly do the same thing here. I'll just speed up a little bit on this part. Is that 02, I think? Or 23 rather. Okay. And on the bottom ones here, just all the links effectively need to become 802.1 queues. So same command. Again, I'm just shorthanding that. That really should be a range, but I'm just doing R's to speed it up. If you want to just do it as range, then just keep it the way you're doing it. Switch port trunk, capsulation.1 queue, switch port, no, don't do that, John boy. I'm mashing this keypad. Okay, so the commands again, switch port trunk encapsulation.1 queue, switch port mode trunk. Okay, and last one over here. Int range gig 0 to 3 gig 1 0 to 1. Okay. So that's that one done. Bind the links between DLS1 and ALS1 in an ether channel and configure the two switches to actively negotiate a PAG-P link. So that's the links between DLS1 and ALS1, so that's FAO 7 and 8 for you. And the key here, it says, is that both switches have to actively negotiate a PAG-P link. So PAG-P can be configured with auto or desirable. The passive mode effectively is auto and the active mode is desirable. So you want both sides to be configured with PAG-P desirable. So in my case, it's gigabit 0, 2 and 3. So I'll go into that. And when you're configuring an ether channel, always shut down the switch ports first. So gigabit range and then, or rather, range and do a shutdown first. Okay, so they're shut down. And what I'm going to do is do a channel group and pick any number you want. I'm going to do channel group 1 mode, and the modes are here. So the one we want is actively configure PAG-P, which is a desirable mode. So desirable. This is going to create a port channel. The number is going to match the number you created. If I did channel group 5, the port channel would be port channel 5, so on and so forth. Now I need to go into that port channel. So int port channel and 1. And again, this command might not be available to you because of the kit you might be using. If it's not, just leave it, don't worry about it, it's done automatically. But do this one, switch port mode trunk. Okay, so go into the interface port channel and definitely put this one in. If this one isn't supported, don't worry about it. Okay, so that's that one. And go to the other side and do the same thing. So int range gig 0, 2 to 3 for me, shut them down. And do channel group 1 mode desirable. Interface port channel 1, switch port trunk encapsulation.1 queue, switch port mode trunk. Now that that's configured, bring the physical interfaces back up. So interface range gigabit 0, 2 to 3, no shut. And do the same over in DLS1. Int range gigabit 0, 2 to 3, no shut. So what should happen is this port channel should now come up. There we go, port channel has came up. And to test that, just do show ether, if I can type, ether channel summary. And that's what we want to see. SU, S means it's a layer 2 port, and U means it's in use, so that's basically switched and it's up. and the protocol is PAGP, which you want to see, so that's all good. That's that part configured. Place all switches in the VTP domain Cisco with DLS1 as the VTP server using VTP version 2. Configure all other switches as VTP clients. Okay, so DLS1 is going to be the server, which is the default mode anyway. So if I do VTP domain Cisco and VTP version 2, and I do VTP mode server, I don't need to type this command because this is the default anyway, but I'll put it in anyway, okay? Now, this should actually propagate it to the other switches, but I'll type in the VTP domain anyway, just hard code it, just so you can see it. It's already set because it's, yeah, but the one we need to do here is VTP mode client. ALS1, again, this should be over here already for this command. Yep, VTP version 2, VTP mode client. VTP domain Cisco VTP version 2 VTP mode client. Okay, so that's that part done. What's the next bit? Okay, so on DLS1 create VLANs 10 named client, VLAN 20 named voice, VLAN 30 named server, VLAN 99 name management. Choose a 192.168x.0/24 network for each VLAN for use in the subsequent steps. So that's pretty much the addressing I was talking about up here. So VLAN 10 is going to be 192.168.10.0/24. VLAN 30 is going to be 192.168.30.0/24, so on and so forth. So what we'll do is we'll go and configure that just now. So we'll go up to DLS1, that'll be. And what was it there? Yep, so I need to do VLAN 10, name is client, type, VLAN 20, name is going to be voice, VLAN 30 is name is going to be server, and VLAN 99 name is going to be management. Exit that. Check that. Yep. So what I'm going to do is do this network addressing. So I need to pick an IP address within this range. So like I say, for interface VLAN 10, I'm going to do 192.168.10 dot something, and because this is DLS1, I'll keep it simple and give this the first IP address. So 10.1/24 mask and no shut. Same again for interface VLAN 20, the exact same process. So interface VLAN 20, IP address 192.168.20.1/24, no shut. Okay, interface VLAN 30, IP address 192.168.30.1/24, no shut. And the last one is VLAN 99, IP address 192.168.99.1/24, and you should be able to see okay, so that's effectively the format I'm using. On DLS2, these will all be .2, so 10.2 on interface VLAN 10, VLAN 20 is going to be 20.2 on DLS2, on VLAN 30, 30.2, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's pretty much that bit done. Okay, so ensure that the VLAN 1 interfaces on all switches is not used for administrative management or user traffic. So that effectively means just shut down interface VLAN 1 on all of the switches. Straightforward enough. So interface VLAN 1, shut it down. And VLAN 1, shut down. And VLAN 1, shut down. Okay. Next one is Right, so the next part is configure the rapid PVSD plus protocol on all switches. That's straightforward enough. Go to DLS1 first. Configure terminal, spanning tree mode, rapid PVSD. That's your command right there. And just do the same thing on the other three. Spanning tree mode, rapid PVSD. Okay. So ensure that DLS1 becomes the spanning tree root of VLANs 10 and 20, and DLS2 becomes the backup. Ensure that DLS2 becomes the spanning tree root for VLANs 30 and 99, and DLS1 becomes the backup. Okay, so that means that DLS1 is the root bridge for VLANs 10 and 20, and DLS2 is the root bridge for 30 and 99, and each are the backup for the other. So the way to do this one is to go in here, and this one is the root bridge for VLANs 10 and 20. So we're going to do spanning tree VLANs 10, 20 root primary. That's that command. And it's going to be the backup for 30 and 99. So spanning tree VLAN 30 and 99 root. Delivery there. Secondary. Okay, and just do the inverse on DLS2. So spanning tree VLAN 3099 root primary on the other one, and 1020 root secondary. Okay, so spanning tree VLAN 3099 root primary, spanning tree VLAN 1020 root secondary, and that's that done. Straightforward enough. On DLS1 and DLS2, configure the SVIs and HSRP to provide gateway redundancy for access layer clients in VLANs 10, 20, 30, and 99. Create an SVI in VLANs 10, 20, 30, and 99, each with an IP address, and mask from the respective networks chosen in step 7. Right, so this is effectively going to be... Right, so our HSRP is going to be configured between DLS1 and DLS2. We need to have a virtual IP address, which is the same on both switches. Okay, within the network range. So what does that actually mean? So in the case, like I said, VLAN 10, we've got 10.1 here, and on DLS2 we've got 10.2. I'm going to give each one a virtual IP address of 10, or rather the VLAN ID plus the last network address. So in this case it'll be 10.254. And VLAN 20 will be 20.254, VLAN 30, 30.254. You can choose any number you want. If you want to do 10.10, 20.20, 30.30, do that if you want, but I'm just going to keep the kind of consistent format. So interface VLAN 10, and the HSRP command you want to be using is standby. And I'm going to give it the number 10, so standby 10. IP address, the virtual IP is going to be 10.254. Okay. And now go into interface VLAN 20, standby 20, IP 192.168.20.254, interface VLAN 30, standby 30, IP 192.168.30.254, and the last one is VLAN 99, standby 99, IP 192.168.99.254. Okay, now I'm pretty much just doing the exact same commands over on DLS2. I'll be a wee bit quicker this time. So interface VLAN, fucking type, standby 10, IP 192.168.10.254. Why is that not there? Check that. Show IP int brief. Oh no, I've not put the actual IP addresses on this. So what I need to do is actually configure the physical addresses on this first. So I'll do int VLAN 10 IP address 192.168.10.2, remember, /24. Interface VLAN 20. These are just the physical interfaces I know I'm doing. 20.2, .192, and that's going to be 30. And int VLAN 99 IP address 192.168.99.2. Okay, so if I do a show IP int brief, till that clears a bit, looks a bit cleaner. So you can see that that's all the physical interfaces on that. So I'm going to configure the HSRP now. This is what I should have done before. So interface VLAN 10 standby 10 IP 192.168.10.254. Interface VLAN 20 standby 20 IP 192.168.20.254. Interface VLAN 30 standby 30 IP 192.168.30.254. And the last one is interface VLAN 99 standby 99 IP 192.168.30.99.254. Okay. So that was that one done. Let's go to number 11. And it's configure DLS1 as the active HSRP router for VLANs 10 and 20, and configure the DLS2 as the backup, and configure DLS2 as the active router for VLANs 30 and 99, and configure DLS1 as a backup. So what this is really telling you is that when you're looking at configuring actives and backups, you've got to be aware of the default priority. The default priority for HSRP is 100. So if you want to make a particular VLAN or a particular router to be the active one, you need to make the priority higher than 100. So I'll just choose 120, as long as it's higher than 100. Okay, so interface VLAN 10, we want this to be the active one. So we're going to do standby 10, and I'm going to type priority 120. You can do 150, 110, 140. I'm just choosing 120. And I'm also going to type the standby 10 preempt. Take that caps lock off. Looks a bit untidy. Standby 10 preempt. And what's the next one? It was VLAN 20 as well. So interface VLAN 20, standby 20, priority, again make it higher than 100, and I'll put preempt on to ensure that it's the active. Same again here, interface VLAN 30 this time, we want to make this one active, so standby 30, priority, make it higher than 100, standby 30, preempt, interface VLAN 99, standby 99, priority is 120, standby 99, preempt. And that's that. So what should happen is, once that synchronizes, if we do a show standby brief, give us a little bit of time to sort this one out. There we go. So what you can see is, from DLS2's point of view, in VLAN 30, the active one is the local switch, which is this switch, that's what we want. And VLAN 99, the active one is the local one, which is what we want. And the inverse is true. So for VLAN 10, the active one is 10.1, which is the physical IP address of DLS1, and 20.1 for VLAN 20, which is again DLS1. So that's exactly what we want to see. Okay, so don't go there. Right. So on ALS1 and ALS2, create a switch virtual interface for management VLAN 99 with an IP address from VLAN 99 network assigned in step 7. Okay, so DLS1 has got a 192.168.99.1. You can see that here. The management is 99.1. This one is 99.2. Okay, So just in keeping with that, I'm just going to make this one 99.3, 99.4. You can pick any address as long as it's within the actual valid range, but keeping it straightforward and simple. So I'll do interface VLAN 99, IP address 192.168.99.3, and a /24 mask, no shut it. And VLAN 99, IP address 192.168.99.4, 255.255.0, and no shut. So if I do a show IP int brief, we've now got interface VLAN 99, the management VLAN 99.4. Okay. The next thing it says is for ALS1 and ALS2, can specify the HSRP gateway of VLAN 99 as the default gateway. So remember, the HSRP gateway is the virtual IP address. Okay, so the virtual IP address was 99.254. Remember, just do a show run int VLAN 99. Yep, that's the IP address you want there. So what we're going to do is do an IP default gateway command and do 192.168.99.254 and just do the same on ALS2. Okay, so configure terminal IP default gateway 192.168.99.254. That's that. Okay, next part is enable port fast on all access layer switch ports. So in the case for you, it's FA06 and FA06 on ALS1 and ALS2. For me, that's gig 12 and gig 12. Okay, so what I'm going to do is do int gig 12 and just do spanning tree port fast edge. Same again here. Int gig 12. Some iOS's type this in differently, so if you're confused, this command doesn't work in the thing, we just do the context sensitive help. We put the question mark here. On viral images, it's edge we use, so just be aware of that in case it's different for you. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so permit the links between DLS1 and ALS1 to carry traffic only for VLANs created in step 7. So DLS2 and ALS2, that's these links here, FA7 and 8 for you. And it says to carry traffic only for VLANs created in step 7. So the VLANs we created in step 7 was 10, 20, 30 and 99. So pretty much what that's telling us to do is to exclude the VLAN 1, which will be automatic as we're doing the show int trunk. You'll see that the ones which are allowed on it 1, 10, 20, 30 and 99. The only ones you want are these 4. Okay, so if we go on to, in my case, gig 02 to gig 03, so int range gig 02 to 3 and do switch port trunk allowed VLAN 10, 20, 30, 99. And do the same here. Int range gig 02 to 3, is that? Did I say that was? Yep. And do switch port trunk allowed VLAN 10, 20, 30, 99. So now if we do our show int trunk, you're going to see that for those ports, you see VLAN 1's not allowed on them on gigabit 2 and 3. It's only the actual ports, the VLANs we created in step 7 for that trunk. Okay, so next part is on ALS1, configure FA06 with port security, allow up to 2 MAC addresses to be learned for IP phone support, enable sticky learning, shut down the port if a violation occurs. So ALS1 FA06, which is for you the actual host days one. So for me, it's gig 12. So int gig 12, and the first command you need to do is switch port security, hit enter. I'll wait there now, actually. I need to make it an access port first. So It's in VLAN 10 here, so we're going to make it switch port mode access, and switch port access VLAN 10. If I can type that right. Right, so now if I do that command, switch port security, it'll now take it. And what does it say we want to do? We want to do allow up to 2 MAC addresses. So what we're going to do is do switch port security, maximum of 2 addresses. Enable sticky learning, so switch port security, MAC address sticky. That's the command you want for sticky learning. And the last command it says is to shut down the port if a violation occurs. So the switch port security versions you can get is protect, restrict, and shut down. To shut down the port, you're using the shutdown one. So switch port security violation shutdown. Okay, so that's that done. And on ALS2, configure port FA06 as an access port in server VLAN 30. So again, for me, this is gig12. For you, it's FA06. So if I do int gig12 and do switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 30. So that's the server VLAN. Okay, and then it says configure IP routing on DLS1 and DLS2 and use EIGRP to advertise the 192.168.0.0/16 with automatic summarization disabled. Now it doesn't actually specify an EIGRP autonomous system number, so I'm just going to use number 1. Okay, but the first thing it says is to configure IP routing, because if you actually notice, if we go to the switches and I happen to do a show IP routes, you're not going to get anything. What I need to do is to configure IP routing to make it capable of this. IP route, and now you'll see the command shows all the connected interfaces. So router EIGRP1, and it says to advertise the network 192.168.0.0, and it's a /16, but again, because it's EIGRP, it's a routing protocol, you're going to be using a wildcard mask. If you're unsure what the wildcard mask is, this is not strictly true, but just imagine it as like the inverse of the subnet mask. It's actually doesn't need to be contiguous the way a subnet mask is, but for quickness, if the subnet mask is 255.255.0.0, the wildcard mask is going to be 0.0.255.255. It's basically the opposite. So we advertise that, and it also says to take away automatic summarization to be disabled, so we're going to do no auto summary. Let's just go and do the same thing on the other one, and we'll do IP routing and router EIGRP1 no auto summary network 192.168.0.0 with a wildcard mask there, and our adjacency should come up. There we go, adjacency's up. And what's the next thing? Configure client PCA with an IP address in VLAN 10 network. Specify the VLAN 10 HSRP virtual address, the default gateway. Configure server B with an IP address in VLAN 30. Specify VLAN 30 HSRP. Okay, so this is going to look a bit different because I'm using a virtual PC, but it's pretty much all I'm saying is give myself the IP address within the range of the 10s. I'll just do 10.10 with a /24 mask, and the gateway is the gateway address of the virtual IP, so 10.254, which is our HSRP. Okay, so if I just ping myself first, if I can stop mashing the keypad, that would be helpful. Okay, and ping 254, and that's us getting the ping back from the virtual address on HSRP. Same again here, but it's in the IP address range of VLAN 30, so 30 dot something, pick a number, I'll do, 30, the /24 mask, and the gateway is the address of the HSRP for VLAN 30, which is the 254. Ping 192.168.30.30, that's myself, and then 30.254. and that's us getting it. So that's pretty much it. All you need to do at the very end is do your show commands and paste it in. So show running config on all the switches. That's just your basic, your show run. It's going to do that. Copy paste that in. Show VLAN. Again, I'll just show VTP status. Just configure all this stuff pretty much. Show spanning tree VLAN 1, so on and so forth. You can just rattle all that in. Show span VLAN 1. So just copy paste all that stuff in, that's pretty much it. So that's really the end of the skills assessment for that one. I'll do the next one either later tonight or tomorrow and upload that. So that's the end of the video. I'll catch you soon. See you after.